Civilization 4 is a brilliant and complex strategy game that rewards planning, creativity, and patience in order to learn and play. It is a must play game for 4X fans, and in my opinion, it is the pinnacle of Civilization franchise. Strategy fans widely regard Sid Meier's Civilization to be one of the most masterfully balanced and rewarding entries into the franchise. Even years after its release, this installment continues to be a special place in the heart of veterans, and with good reasons. For many players on Steam, Civ 4 is not just a game, it's a gold standard for a turn-based empire building, emphasis on empire, delivering a compelling blend of depth, elegance, and replayability that few titles can match. In my opinion, it is the best turn-based strategy games from 20,000 to 2010, and it's not even close. At its core, Civ 4 embraces the traditional one more turn approach to the gameplay, and with patches and balances, it enriches with high layers of thoughtful design. Every choice feels meaningful and interconnected, from managing city production and research paths to handling diplomacy and war. What stands out the most to longtime fans is how naturally all this system works together to create an immersive feel to the game, especially through its music and the atmosphere. A player feels empowered to shape their civilization according to their needs, whether it's a cultural dominance or technological leadership or military conquest. This game has a deep mechanics where you can choose your preferred play style whenever you want and can change whenever you want, at the mid game. And there are always a good opportunity cost and have a flexibility to change the course of the game whenever you want. The introduction of religion is one of the best mechanics that are introduced in this game, which adds a fascinating strategic layers to the whole diplomacy. From founding and spreading a religion not only boosts your culture and happiness, but also opens up many diplomatic angles and create a religious blocks. You can just ride on two boats at the same time. You have to choose a team throughout the game and stick with it. You can make genuine friends or enemies throughout the game, and if you manage to make the genuine friends through the diplomacy and religion, that friend can never betray you, unlike in Civ 3, except for maybe Catherine, because she is programmed to be a flirty backstabber. One of the best features of this game, and the features that do not really exist in the later entries and very dumbed down, is the AI. Artificial intelligence is a hard thing to do in a complex strategy game. It is not like chess where the rules are easy and it is and millions upon millions of dollars have been spent on improving the AI. In a 4X strategy game, especially in Civ 4, which is one of the most complex strategy games out there, creating an AI is very hard. Even the vanilla entry does not have a good AI. It taken two expansions to get a good AI through Blake's mod. Compared to its predecessors, Civ 4 boasts a significantly more competent AI, while not without its quirks. Each leaders behave like a distinct and reasonably logical way, and there are pluses and minuses that are indicated to show why a certain AI feels certain way. So there is nothing surprising to the players. Sure, some may argue that this is not realistic, that uh, you are obviously seeing the effect beforehand before the AI start to do something. But I much prefer a logical, competent, and transparent AI over illogical and untransparent and quote unquote human like who just backstab you whenever they want with no warning whatsoever, like in Civ 5. Civ 4 AIs offers a deep and more tactical experience because you already the game already gives you the news about what the AI feels and why is it feeling that way, so that you can make a strategic decisions more competently, which is important for a strategic experience. That being said, even the most glowing reviews acknowledge the occasional frustrations with sometimes AI decisions, which is sometimes erratic in the declaration of war or questionable trade offers. But overall, the opponent feels like a worthy rival rather than a pushovers or random dice rolls like the AIs in Civ 5 and 6. In terms of soundtrack and presentations, audio of Civ 4 is often faced as one of its most memorable features. And the soundtrack, especially the Grammy-winning main theme Baba Yetu, adds a grand and emotional weight to the game. Music can dynamically evolve throughout the civilization's progress, like each era had its era-specific music, and that really works well in making the players feel like the weight of the progress, and really has a good progression system to go along with it. Later entries in the series, especially Civ 5, do have good music. I'm not denying that, but it has done away with era appropriate music in favor of making war theme and peace theme different. It is a different vibe, but I would much prefer an era appropriate music for every era. In Civ 4, especially the medieval age, the soundtrack of medieval age is some of my favorites in the franchise. Visually, Civ 4 was a major step forward in the series, offering a full 3D graphics for the first time in the Civilization franchise, which come with its positive and negative effects. In terms of positives, it adds a lot of characters and charm to the overall presentation of the game. In terms of negatives, it has some memory leak issues upon release, and the map has to be scaled down in order to make it viable for the modern for the 2005 computers, because bigger maps need more load to the PC. It was not a problem in Civ 3 because Civ 3 was 2D game, so there was no problem in playing in a large huge land mass. But in Civ 4 the map has to be consciously scaled down so that the game can be released in the PC of its time. In terms of clarity and charm, the visuals have aged gracefully, even though it is not as visually appealing as Civ 3 or Civ 5. The interface is intuitive and surprisingly modern feeling, especially when compared to both the older and some newer strategy games. One of the greatest strengths of Civ 4 is the infinite replayability. With its diverse roster of civilization, with unique leaders with personality-driven AI, and randomized map and modding support, no two games feels alike. The expansions add a great AI upon the releases with the help of some modders named Blake, but it has its expansion had its flaws, like it adds some of its bloatness, like I don't think the mechanics of espionage and corporations are well done, but overall the expansions add so many new civs and add a great amount of variety to the game, and it also adds some deeper late game mechanics that are helpful in making the game fresh in the late game. The modding community in particular were the major reasons this game remains active on the Steam to this day. Popular mods like Rise and Fall, Fall from Heaven, and Realism Invictus extends the game's life considerably for those who are looking for new challenge or new content in the game. It adds thousands upon thousands hours of new content to the game and extends the game's replayability considerably. There are few flaws that really holds this game back from reaching the mainstream audience, I feel. Even though Civ 4 has a lot of units sold, like approximately I think 6 million units sold, its successor games had sold considerably better than Civ 4, and the reason I feel like there are some unintuitiveness in its UI that holds this game back from reaching its full potential among the mainstream audience. While overwhelmingly praised, Civ 4 isn't without its criticism. The late game can sometimes feel sluggish due to sheer volumes of units and calculations, especially on larger maps. The players also note that city management becomes tedious once your empire spans dozens of tiles. Additionally, for newer players, the learning curve, while rewarding, can feel daunting at first. Especially, this is a game where you have to have good number of cities in order to win. So there are some issues with automation in the late game that holds these games back from reaching its full potential and makes the game a bit tedious in the later eras. Still, many of these drawbacks were far outweighed by the game's accessible depth and polish, and a deep balance from depth and accessibility keeps these games at the top of the line for the best civilization game in the franchise, in my opinion. Overall, Civ 5 is often regarded as a game that truly diverged from its original vision that were written by Sid Meier in Civ 1, and Civ 4 is often regarded as the perfect balance between the innovation and evolution of the franchise. It truly is the final form of what Civ has been building at from Civ 1, and Soren Johnson, the developer of this game, truly captured the spirit of Civilization franchise through this game, and it's often regarded as one of the best game developers out there. Civ 5 strikes a perfect balance between innovation, strategy, depth, and intuitive gameplay. It captures the essence of building a civilization from the scratch while constantly rewarding players with new layers of decision making. While newer entries may dazzle with updated graphics and streamlined system, Civ 4 remains a towering achievement in game design, and for many on Steam, it is one of the crowning jewels of the franchise. This is my written review on Steam, so I'm mostly referring Steam for an example, but this review is very much in general for Civ 4, and in my opinion Civ 4 is by far the best civilization game in the franchise, and Civ 5 somewhat broken the franchise in half. It is Civ 4 ultimately is a masterclass in strategy games, deep, challenging, and endlessly replayable. It remains the one of the finest turn-based strategy games ever created, only showing minor aging and minor pacing issues that holds it back from perfection. That's it for today's video. Thanks for watching.